Morning, folks. Welcome back to Britannia Yacht Club. We are aboard the Blackjack once again this morning, and I'm joined by Ken. He is the first mate here on the boat. What an exciting summer you've had.
I have had a pretty good summer.
I'm going to ask you a little bit about your experiences in a minute, but I have to ask, how old were you when you first joined ByTown Brigatine?
I was only 14.
Really?
I was a little junior trainee in 2003.
And why did you want to become involved?
Well, I wanted to go on a summer camp that was new and interesting and exciting.
Yeah.
And the tall ship was really what drew me.
Absolutely. Exactly. How often would you get the chance to work on a ship of this size at 14 years old, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a few years since then, and what has your experience been like?
It's been pretty positive.
Yeah.
I spent a long time coming back as a trainee.
Yeah.
Until about 2006 because I just had so much fun. Mm-hmm. And then I started really working as crew in 2007. And I've been doing that ever since.
Right. And what was your summer like as the first mate of the Blackjack?
Well, I'm not going to lie, being the first mate offered some new challenges and interesting experiences and a new perspective on how a ship is run. It was a lot of fun because you got to see and control how the kids had fun, and you got to make sure that they went about the camp in a certain way.
Yeah.
You got to engineer their experiences so that it was as good as possible.
And what was one of the challenges for you?
Honestly, trying to keep control of 15, 16, 12 to 15-year-old youths all bent on having as much fun as possible everywhere.
Yeah. And what types of, I mean, you said it's all about adventure for you. What makes this so adventurous?
I think it's the element of risk, or at least perceived risk, that people see on a tall ship. Everybody thinks, oh my goodness, it's so dangerous, you're out on the water. And there is that element of danger, and you feel very, I don't want to say nervous, but excited every time you go out. But at the same time, there is a small element of risk because people hear about bad things happening, and of course nothing ever does.
Right.
But they feel it, and it adds to the excitement, and it makes it feel so much more extreme.
Right. And what types of trips did you go on this summer?
Well, the Blackjack went up and down the Ottawa River.
Yep.
We have our own island at the far end, so the kids would come on the ship, and then we would sail up the river, and they would get off at the island, and we would play some island games. We'd run around. It's a good 60 acres.
Right.
So it's just big enough that they can get lost without getting truly lost.
Right.
And we would do that, and they would feel like they're out in the wilderness, and then we'll come back down the river sailing on the ship again, so that they get kind of a summer camp and they get to go sailing.
Right. Now, can any child 12 years and up join the youth program, or are there certain credentials that you must have?
You have to be within reason physically fit. Yeah. But beyond that, there are no credentials whatsoever. You don't need any experience. You don't need to have sailed before. However, if you have, it's definitely a bonus.
Great. That's so exciting for you. Thank you so much for telling us about it.
No problem.
And coming up just a little bit later in the show, even though the winter months approach, it's not over. The experience with ByTown Brigatine will tell you all about their winter training programs. That's coming up a little bit later on CTV Morning Live.